Have you ever felt left out? Have you ever been in a position where you're the minority? Have you ever had to know what it feels like to be scrutinized or left out because you're different from everyone else around you? Nearly a fifth of students are physically assaulted because of their sexual orientation. The average GPA for students who were frequently physically harassed because of their sexual orientation was half a grade lower than that of other students. Today, my purpose is to show you that as a member of the Washington County School Board, you have an opportunity to give all of your students fair and equal representation in the classroom and in your curriculum. By doing this, it will eventually lead to a decrease in numbers for statistics like I just demonstrated, and will also give every student a more well-rounded education that will in fact profit everyone. I've done significant research pertaining to gay students in school systems and how their education is significantly less in quality due to many being ostracized, abused, or ignored. I myself am a gay man. I went to a high school where I was the only openly gay student out of approximately 900 students. I know firsthand what it feels like to be on this side of the fence and how a student's sexuality can negatively impact their education. Today I will be telling you 3 ways that you can implement gay topics into your high school curriculum here in Washington County that will give gay students a better sense of inclusion in school itself, since they will be more fairly represented, but also relieve some of the tension between gay and straight students because heterosexual students would have a better education and awareness of homosexuality, therefore creating a higher tolerance and understanding of one another, creating a better academic environment for everyone. The 3 ways that I am proposing you incorporate gay issues into your high school curriculum are: creating a gay-straight alliance for the Washington County high school system, using textbooks and social studies courses that give a fair and adequate representation of gay issues and gay rights throughout history, and third, incorporate the topic of homosexuality in your sexual health education courses. First thing I want to talk to you about is the benefits of creating a gay-straight alliance for the Washington County school systems. The mission statement for the East Tennessee chapter of the Gay-Straight Alliance states that the Gay, Lesbian, and Straight Education Network strives to assure that each member of every school community is valued and respected regardless of sexual orientation, gender identity, or expression. According to their website, the goal of a Gay-Straight Alliance is to be a student-run club in a high school or middle school that brings together LGBTQ and straight students to support each other, mobilize their peers to stand up for safety and equality, provide a safe place to socialize, and create a platform for activism to fight homophobia and bullying. According to statistics published in 2009 by the official Gay-Straight Alliance website, 84.6% of LGBT students reported being verbally harassed, 40.1% reported being physically harassed or abused, and 18.8% reported being physically assaulted at school in the past year due to their sexual orientation. Nearly 2/3, or 61.1% of students reported that they have felt unsafe in their school because of their sexual orientation. Results from having a gay-straight alliance in a school system have shown that the presence of supportive staff contributed to a range of positive indicators, including fewer reports of missing school, fewer reports of feeling unsafe, greater academic achievement, higher educational aspirations, and a greater sense of school belonging for everyone. By creating a gay-straight alliance in the Washington County high school system, we will be able to see an increase in acceptance and understanding about sexual orientation and a decrease in many of the negative aspects of being a gay student, such as lower grades, lack of inclusion in the school community itself, a less verbal and physical abuse to students who identify themselves as non-heterosexual. The second thing I'd like to talk to you guys about today is incorporating and implementing textbooks that vastly cover homosexual issues into your social studies courses in the high schools here in Washington County. Last year, California passed the first ever bill that ensures that gay history will be adequately represented in public school social studies courses. The goal of the bill is to, quote, present a more accurate and nuanced view of American history in our social science curriculum by recognizing the accomplishments of groups that are not often recognized. Social scientist Alan Johnson, in his book Privilege, Power, and Difference, discusses the ideal of exclusion. Exclusion, as he puts it, often happens in ways noticed only by the person experiencing them. Exclusion is a concept that can best be described as one or more groups of people who are looked over or not included in a larger body of people. The notion of exclusion can have many harmful effects to those that it pertains to. To be included is to be privileged. Therefore, to be excluded means to have a lack of privilege. Every student should have an equal education, which includes equal representation in textbooks that are taught in the school. The benefits of teaching social studies courses with more content relating to gay issues would be helpful and impactful. It would create a better sense of understanding and even humanizing of gay students in the eyes of heterosexual students, and a better sense of inclusion and not exclusion for those students who identify themselves as non-heterosexual. It should be imperative that all students feel sufficiently represented in the classes that they are being taught. In social studies courses, having a curriculum that openly discusses gay rights, gay history, and influential homosexuals throughout history will give gay students a better understanding of homosexuality in general, as well as make them feel less ashamed of being homosexual and even foster a sense of pride and acceptance about who they are as individuals. The third thing that I would like to talk about is including topics relating to homosexuality in your sexual health education courses in high school. Even though Tennessee currently has laws banning the discussion of what they call gateway sexual behavior, or any behavior, as they put it, that could lead to sexual intercourse, such as genital touching or even kissing, it is still imperative that as educators, we educate all students on repercussions of risky sexual behavior. According to the Center for Disease Control, in 2008, Tennessee was ranked number 18 out of 50 for the highest cases of HIV. And out of that, gay men make up almost 55% of those with the disease. The 2010 U.S. Census reveals that Murfreesboro, Tennessee, is on the list of top 25 cities in America with the highest AIDS rates. And that city is not very far from here, if you'll remember. With alarming statistics such as these, I find it obvious that as educators, it is up to you to do as much as possible to prevent statistics such as these to continue. While the specific subject of intercourse may in fact be not allowed or need to be discussed in depth, it is crucial that all students, both hetero and homosexual, receive a sufficient, well-informed education on sexual health that pertains to their specific lifestyle. That means that while it is important to discuss STDs and pregnancy with heterosexual students, it is equally important to discuss STDs and safe sexual practices that pertain to homosexual members of the student body as well. Taking these steps will benefit students in more than one way. One, it will foster a better sense of understanding and familiarity regarding homosexuality amongst non-homosexual students, which will in turn decrease the gap between heterosexual and homosexual differences amongst students on a social and personal level. Two, it will give homosexual students a better sense of inclusion in the school system, which will in turn decrease their feelings of being an outsider, minority, or excluded, and will foster a stronger sense of self-acceptance with gay students. And three, Educating students on safer sexual practices will alert, motivate, and inspire all students to take more precautions when and if they choose to be sexually active. This creates a healthier environment for students, ensures better health, and a longer, more fulfilling life for every single student. Today, I want everyone in this room right now to think for just one moment what it would be like to be in the minority, to not have the privilege of being like everyone else, to be an outsider, to be judged for something you have no control over, and to be constantly persecuted by your peers on a daily basis. I know what this feels like all too well. As the only openly gay student in my high school for a long period of time, I unfortunately had to deal with these issues. I know what it's like to be called faggot on a daily basis. To be walking to class with my friends in the hall and to have some stranger yell and call me a queer over the crowd in front of everyone when I had done absolutely nothing and oftentimes didn't even know the person calling me the name. I know what it feels like to be getting off the school bus while your mom is in the front yard and having students yell queer at you as you exit the bus. I know the shame, the torment, and the heartache that comes along with being different. It's my life. I live it. What I want, and what you should want, is for current and future students to not have to go through what I and what millions of others have already went through. Your ethics statement, which is listed on the Washington County School Board website, states that, quote, I will at all times think in terms of children first, always determining other important things according to how they affect the child, their education, and training, and that I will seek to provide equal educational opportunities for all children regardless of ability, race, color, sex, creed, or location of residence. All I'm attempting to do today is to apply the guidelines that you've already established for the school system to the realm of gay students in the student body. This is a time where we put our differences aside and we think about what is best for our students and how they can have the best, most fair, and informative education possible. I've described how incorporating a gay-straight alliance, implementing more gay-related text and social studies courses, and including the topic of homosexuality in your sexual health education classes will all benefit the student body on multiple levels. Today, I ask that you open your heart as well as your mind, and you realize that you have the power to make a difference for so many students in your county, that you have the power to allow all students to feel equal and be heard, and that students can come to school to get an education that is equal to everyone else's, and that you have the power to thrust the change so that students can get an education beside one another, free from harassment, judgment, and free from persecution. The choice is yours.